I am very worried about what's happening in Latin America in coffee growing landscapes since about 2012, 2013, with the intensification of coffee leaf rust combined with climate change, low coffee prices. We have seen a series of changes unravel. Many of these changes include changes towards resistant varieties, and even in some regions we're starting to see changes towards Robusta, which is not a normal or typical coffee species to grow in Latin America. Many of these changes are coming with unknown consequences for example, biodiversity conservation or forest. This is because these crops are being managed in a different way. So perhaps they're being grown with less shade or with more use of inputs. So all these different dynamics, we're not very sure how they're unraveling, and they're unraveling differently in different locations of Latin America.
So besides understanding the magnitude of the changes that we are seeing in coffee growing landscapes throughout Latin America and understanding the impact of these changes, it's important to start developing a research agenda focused on solutions. And we need to find solutions at different scales and through different disciplinary perspectives. So at the farm scale, there are still many questions to be answered about what sort of management and what sort of farming systems design do we need to combat these changes that we are seeing in different regions. But at a more regional level, we also need to start looking at other things that are influencing farmers to make certain decisions in terms of their management or in terms of their land use, and how those could help or support the resilience of coffee farming systems throughout these regions.
Coffee-based landscapes have been under the threat of many factors, like in the past, like coffee prices, coffee profitability, which is very low, sometimes negative, coffee pests and diseases like coffee rust, which has hit Central America very severely from 2012, and Colombia from between 2008 and 2011, and climate change. So, and coffee-based landscapes are very important for the provision of ecosystem services. So there is a risk to have a reduction of this provision in the future due to these threats. So it is very important to find solutions in order to keep these coffee-based landscapes in the landscape, like technical solutions. There are options, I believe, by managing better the shade, or by applying agroecological techniques in order to improve the sustainability of the systems, even if the climate is not optimal. And there are also political solutions. We need the help of people who make the decisions in order to provide some help, financial help probably, to producers in order to manage the coffee and have a good life from the products they produce.
It's very good that you raised this question about the importance of the social sciences in this kind of interdisciplinary research project. In terms of coffee, there are two themes that come to my mind. First is the heterogeneity of farmers. If you look at farmers, how they respond to introduction of new technologies or to climate adaptation proposals, you see huge differences. Even among smallholders, you have the very poor, or if you, the medium-sized farmers, in one single region or even in one village, like where we were yesterday, you see very different responses, one replacing coffee for another crop, while other farmers may try to plant more trees in their coffee farm in order to have other products, fruit harvest and so on. So this issue of heterogeneity is the first theme. The second theme that comes to my mind is the public policy making. coffee policies, but also environmental policies. We know that we see that different countries are struggling with how to respond to these new challenges, and I think social science can contribute there. First, to see the differences between the different countries, what worked best and why it worked best, what doesn't work, and so on, and also the differential impact on farmers in their own country.
So it was very important that this week we had this opportunity to get together here at CIRAD with important international and national institutions that work across Latin America to share experiences and expertise on the coffee sector and what's happening here in Latin America. The objective of the meeting was really to develop a consortium and to discuss a research plan that will allow us to work towards solutions for the challenges that the region and the coffee sector is facing. These problems, these challenges have many different dimensions, and therefore this interdisciplinary approach is very important. But what's also important is participatory approaches. So we have also invited people that work in the coffee sector, not only researchers, but also people that work more on the practical implementation of improvements towards more sustainable coffee systems directly with farmers to get also a better understanding of what their needs and their perspectives are, and to take this into account when developing a research program.